let's dive in, though, to this LSU spring game. As this Saturday, Tiger Stadium is once again open to the public. It is free, 50% capacity, so there could actually be quite a good number in there if you're looking for something to do this weekend. But let's talk about the things to watch on the field, right? Because there'll be a lot of people who maybe don't listen to us because it's not football season, or a lot of people who haven't really been keeping up with the storylines, but they might check out Saturday, right? They might want to tune in for a little bit. So I want to do kind of like a watching guide here, and we'll tell you what we're going to be on the lookout for, and then maybe what you could be on the lookout for this weekend. Jake, I'll start real quick because I think my first answer is probably the least exciting. I'm fascinated to just see what the backup offensive line looks like. I way overanalyzed just the few snaps of tape that we got out of them last season. And I drew some pretty sad conclusions from it, right? It was a group that just did not really look ready at all. And everything that we've heard through interviewing and talking to people is kind of just reinforced that this is a group that is not ready at all. Well, how are they going to perform then when they're in front of thousands of people? And it's not going to be, it's not going to be like there's going to be blitzes or complex defenses to go against, so that should certainly help them out. But I want to see what kind of shape are they in? Like, how close do I feel like some of these guys are to being on the field and then not looking completely out of place? Because that will be a great barometer kind of for where my head's at entering the season in terms of how scared I am of the ability to withstand O-line injuries. So my number one thing is going to be watching those backups that we never get to see in kind of what kind of form they're in.
I like that one because I also kind of have that question about the backup offensive lineman. You've got some highly touted guys in there, but now you need to see them, be in shape like you talked about, be able to give you faith that if something happened, they could step in and play and you wouldn't miss a beat. So that is a good one there. I'm going to go to the defensive side of the football for my first one, and that's the safety position, and that's the group of Todd Harris, Derek Davis Jr., Jay Ward, and Jay Ward might be the one I want to get my eyes on the most because we've heard about him. We know that he's played corner in the past. He really played strong at the end of last year, but now you moved him to a free safety position, and they're counting on him. I think every time we have Coach O on, we're going to have him again in about 5 minutes. Every time he comes on, he mentions the progression that Jay Ward has taken at that safety position. It's the weakest as far as depth on this team. That's why you have to move a corner to that safety position. You've got some talent. Like Todd Harris has been a starter here since 2018, okay? You need him healthy more than anything. Derek Davis is a stud All-American freshman that you need to come in and be able to contribute. Doesn't have to be a starter, but he's got to give you faith, again, that he can step in and play if he needs to, and he's going to be a rotational piece. So the safety position is probably where I'm going to be focused on the most.
All right, so we got back of a line and safety. Obvious, the evergreen position is the quarterback room, right? That almost goes without saying, and it's what most people, I think, will 1,000% be locked onto. And this spring, for good reason. This is a legitimate quarterback battle that will not be decided Saturday where you're going to be running these base plays, but you can still kind of make it's almost like making a public opening statement, right, for these quarterbacks saying, I'm going to be your QB come this fall. That's ultimately when the job will be decided. But coaches love when guys show up when people are in the stands, right, because it adds a bit of pressure. Who's going to wilt? Who's going to take what they've done on the practice field, translate it to Death Valley with people in the stands and not miss a beat? That's most important, probably a quarterback. So I want to see Miles, Max, TJ, and then really Garrett and just how they perform. Which one has to deal with the second offensive line? Do they get to rotate behind the first? Whoever does have to deal with the second offensive line, can they still manage to have success? So give me quarterbacks next on that list.
The old bomb squad. Sometimes.
Hell yeah, dude. Blow them up. Sometimes you get blown up. Bomb squad started as a scout team thing, and then we brought it to the O-line in general, and I think they still do it to this day, actually.
Well, good. It's good to hear that.
10 years later.
So I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the football, and I don't know if I'll ever get away from the defensive side about things that I'm looking for on Saturday. Now I'm talking linebackers. I want to see Buck Strong. We've heard about him not only from the coaches but from the players as well. Every time he hits somebody, they said it sounds like a shotgun. Okay, well, I want to see it. I want to hear it. I want to see also what kind of feet and instincts that he has as well. Because, look, he's a thumper, and I love that. I love having a thumper right there in the middle, but you've got to do other things in 2021 college football. I want to see what he looks like in person, because if he can be someone that's in the middle of that defense, can cover backs out of the backfield, can cover a tight end if you need him to do it, you're talking about a player that's going to start from day one. So let's see what Buck Strong has at that middle linebacker position.
Yeah, and to be clear, I think it's important that you're highlighting players or as far as the defense goes, and really I guess it's all of spring. Don't be too married to the overall success of the side. I guess what I'm saying is, like, you're going to get more value out of looking out of individuals and how they do in individual battles than like, oh, the defense did great that series. Because, again, they're just running base. Like this is no great mental test for either the defense or the offense. Let's just see who's, like, physically superior in a lot of these battles. The third group I want to see would be the wide receiver group. And it's really everybody past Kayshon Boutte. Now, of course, I'm excited to get eyes on Boutte. But like we said, a room that we think has a ton of talent, but really we have no idea who the 2 or the 3 is going to be. There's a lot of different directions that could go. Even guys like Devontae Lee now entering the mix. So, yeah, I would say wide receivers, who is going to try to take some of that playing time that's up for grabs alongside Boutte?
Trey Palmer is somebody we talked about. I'd love to see, maybe what the plan is there, because when he gets the ball in his hands, he's special.
Yeah.
Now, could it be side adjustments? Could it be they want better overall routes? We don't know that. But what we do know is he has a punt and a kick return for a touchdown in his LSU career.
So now you got Trey Palmer, you got Coy Moore, you got Jeray Jenkins, you got Devontae Lee, people are talking about. You got Brian Thomas, you got Chris Hilton. Those are 6 guys that you think are really good for 2 spots, essentially. So it's a great position group.
All right, so my last one here is going to be more of a player than a position group. And I know I've mentioned individual players, but I want to see safety and linebacker. I want to see everybody. I want to see how that group is working out. But my individual player is Maason Smith.
Me too. We've
heard about him for years. Not like in one recruiting cycle, but for multiple recruiting cycles, okay? He is the 6'5", 315-pound defensive tackle that wears number 0. Okay, we've seen all the YouTube videos of him dominating one-on-ones at all of these camps, right? LSU fans wanted him here for a long time. He is now here. I want to see him in person go out there and dominate.
Yeah, man. The hype train, you heard Coach Sting Sr. talk about him. Like, really, everybody we've talked to, just how this cat looks like he's in the NFL already. Like, there's no way that this guy, look at him right there. If you're watching online, there's no way that this guy should be 18 years old and supposed to be at prom right now, and yet is getting ready for the LSU spring game. So I agree. I had, let's also pick one player, and that was the exact player on my list as well. So you want to watch for big number 0 come Saturday. So backup O-line, safeties, quarterbacks, obviously. Linebacker. Wide receivers.
Maason Smith.
There you go. That's your LSU spring game watch guide. When we get back, talking to Coach O, LSU head football coach. Keep it locked right here on 104.5 ESPN.